One of the most interesting career paths in recent times is that of Cole Palmer. 2 years ago, not many had heard about him, and those who knew him only knew him as one of those Manchester City Academy kids who Pep used to give a couple of minutes of playing time after a game had been comprehensively won. But in 1 year, that same kid everyone ignored is now a PFA award winner, Ballon d'Or nominee, and one of the world's best players. How has this guy gone from a City reject to a Chelsea superstar in just 1 year? Let's talk about it. Palmer was born and raised in Manchester, but he did not grow up supporting City. To be fair, growing up in the early 2000s, it should not be surprising that he was a Manchester United fan. But when it came to his footballing career, he chose the blue half at the tender age of 8. His dad used to play Sunday League football, and little Cole would go to watch with him. So you could say he got his skills from his dad. Palmer was talented right from when he was young, but when he got into his teen years, his problems at City started. When he was 14 years old, folks at the academy said he was too small for professional football, and they said he wouldn't make it as a pro. They gave him some time to grow, but nothing had changed when he was 16, so the coaches considered releasing him. But the then academy director Jason Wilcox, who's currently United's technical director, insisted that City should hold on to Palmer. While Man City Academy graduates like Foden and Sancho had made their first team debuts as teenagers, Palmer's first senior team appearance did not come until he was 20 years old. It came in an EFL Cup game against Burnley in September 2020. But his first goal for the first team did not come until a whole year later, when he scored against Wycombe in the same competition. The 2021-22 season was when Cole Palmer began to establish himself a little. He made his Premier League debut in August 2021 and scored his first goal in September. But October was extra special. On the 16th of October, he came off the bench to make his second Premier League appearance for the Manchester City first team against Burnley. And guess what? That same night, he went and scored a hat-trick for the City under-23s. We should all have known we were dealing with an insane footballer from that point. But that was not even all. Just 3 days later, he came off the bench to make his second Champions League appearance, and he marked it with a goal. So, that season, he made 11 first-team appearances and had 4 goal contributions. Not a bad start at all, but still, nobody was paying any mind to this lanky kid. The next season was pretty much the same story. He was only feeding on scraps in terms of minutes. Guardiola would only introduce him when the game was done and dusted. And on top of that, Palmer didn't even have a defined position. Pep would throw him anywhere on the pitch. At City, Palmer played as a left winger, right winger, centre forward, attacking midfielder, and even as a central or right midfielder. The way he was used, it was clear that Pep did not have many plans for him, at least shortly. But Cole Palmer had plans for himself, and they were supported by an insane level of self-confidence. Now, it's important to note that Palmer was a part of the squad that won the European treble in 2023, so before he even had much to do, he was settled on the trophy front. But he didn't just want to be a fringe player who was racking up trophies. He wanted to be important, and he was ready to show just how important he could be. At the start of the 2023-24 season, he showed what he could bring to the table if used properly. He came off the bench for City in the Community Shield against Arsenal and scored Man City's only goal of the game. Then, 10 days later, he started the UEFA Super Cup final against Sevilla. And again, he scored City's only goal of the game, which helped them force penalties, where they won the trophy. Palmer had imposed himself, so he was now able to make demands. He told Pep that he wanted to play more. If Pep could not promise that, then he wanted to leave. He didn't mind going out on loan just to show his level, but Pep said no. If he was staying, he was staying. If he was leaving permanently. No loan deals. It was a very difficult choice because Palmer had been at Manchester City for over a decade. It was all he knew and what he'd grown to love, so saying a permanent goodbye was always going to be difficult. But he knew he could be more. He knew he could get more out of his career. So he decided to leave. But who was going to buy this inexperienced kid from the academy who'd hardly proven himself? Well, Chelsea stepped in and offered a solution. They put £40 million on the table and took Palmer from Man City. At the time, it looked like Chelsea got the short end of the stick. People were asking why on earth the Blues would spend such an amount on a kid who had not proven himself at the top level. City fans were smiling that they just got that amount of money for one of their academy players who was never going to be a starter anyway. Fans accused Chelsea's new owners of splurging senselessly. They already had a plethora of attacking players. Why on earth did they need to buy this lanky academy product from a rival team? Well, Parma wasted no time in showing us exactly why Chelsea needed to spend £40 million on him. Okay, we lied, he took some time. He failed to score or provide an assist in his first 4 Premier League games for Chelsea, and doubters were getting super loud. Rival fans were actively counting the appearances, but Parma did not let it get to that. He scored his first Premier League goal for Chelsea in his 5th appearance, but that came from the spot against relegation-threatened Burnley, so it didn't do much to shut the doubters up. Well, the next league game was against Arsenal, and Parma scored from the spot again. He would end up not scoring or assisting as Chelsea lost their next game to Brentford. But the next game was another London derby against Spurs, and guess what? He scored from the spot yet again. This time, he followed it up with an assist as Chelsea went on to defeat Spurs 4-1. The following game was against his former club City, and he was brilliant, scoring the late equaliser from the spot to earn Chelsea a point. At this point, if Cole Palmer hadn't done much, he'd established himself as a set-piece specialist who just didn't feel pressure. But he still had more to prove, and he was ready to do exactly that. When he met his boyhood club United, he scored, which was his first Premier League goal from open play for Chelsea, and that signaled the start of something new for him. He would go on to score another open play goal against Sheffield United, and that game with an assist. Then, in the last game of 2023, he scored 2 goals from open play against Luton Town, including one true beauty that had everyone on their feet and was nominated for Goal of the Month. That day, he was involved in all of Chelsea's goals, scoring 2 and assisting 1. That was Palmer's first ever professional brace, so fans thought he'd peaked. But that was just the beginning. It got a lot better for him in 2024. But before we talk about that, take a second to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos like this. Anyway, halfway into the season, Palmer had established himself as an undisputed starter and Chelsea's most important player. And, might we remind you, Chelsea were having a tumultuous season and Palmer was their only positive. He was already proving to be worth the money that Chelsea paid for him. He started the new year even better than he finished the last, scoring a brace in the EFL Cup semi-final to send Chelsea to the final. He would then go on to score his first ever professional hat-trick against Manchester United, 2 of them coming late in the game to complete a comeback for Chelsea. With that, he became the 3rd youngest player to score a hat-trick against United. This game was what won him the Premier League Game Changer of the Season award at the end of the campaign. That same month, he did even better by scoring 4 against Everton, becoming only the 31st player in Premier League history to score 4 or more goals in a single game, and the first Chelsea player in history to score 2 hat-tricks in a single season. Those 4 goals also made Palmer the 3rd Chelsea player to score 20-plus goals in his debut season for the club. But if you think those are big records, you haven't seen anything yet. For his performances in April, Cole Palmer was named Premier League Player of the Month, and his long-range goal against Everton was named Goal of the Month. This made him the first ever Chelsea player and 5th player in the Premier League history to win both awards in the same month. The following month, he scored in the London derby against West Ham, making him only the 3rd player aged 21 or younger to have 30-plus goal contributions in a single season in Premier League history. Then, in the following game, he assisted a goal against Nottingham Forest to become only the 13th player in Premier League history to score 20-plus goals and provide 10-plus assists in the same season. He finished that season with 22 goals and 11 assists, which meant that he was the player with the most goal contributions in the league. This was truly incredible, and even more impressive when you remember that it was his first full season as a professional footballer. For all he did, he was rewarded with the Premier League Young Player of the Season, PFA Young Player of the Year, and PFA Fans Player of the Year awards. Of course, he was also named Chelsea Player of the Season. I mean, who else would have won that award? After a truly amazing season, Palmer was called up to represent England at Euro 2024. And although he didn't start a single game, he was still able to get an assist in the semi and a goal in the final, proving just how clutch he is. But the boy still had doubters. They called him a one-season wonder and dared him to replicate it in the 2024-25 season. He took it as a challenge and started the new season even more brilliantly than he finished the last. He scored a goal and provided 3 assists against Wolves, and that goal was named the Premier League Goal of the Month for August, making Cole Palmer the first player in Premier League history to win the award twice in a row across 2 seasons. He then scored in another London derby against West Ham and then scored 4 against Brighton. The 4-goal haul instantly reminded fans of what he did before the start of the season. During a photo shoot where the Premier League was recording players' celebrations, they asked Palmer to show 3 fingers in case he scored a hat-trick. Do you know what Palmer said? What about 4? That's the self-confidence we told you about at the beginning. He was so sure that he would score 4 in a game, and 6 games into the new season, he did exactly that. Even more interestingly, he scored all 4 goals in the first half of the game, becoming the first player in Premier League history to manage that. This boy is a real superstar and a certified record breaker. The likes of Foden, Rashford and Saka have never managed to score 4 goals in a single game even once in their entire careers. But in just under 2 full seasons, Cole Palmer has already done it twice, which is forcing fans to look at him as the true English star boy. It's insane what this guy's managed to do in such a short time. To go from Man City reject to Chelsea superstar in just 1 year is something we'll surely not see in a long time. But the reverse happened years ago. Kevin De Bruyne went from Chelsea reject to Man City superstar in a few years. If you want to know how the Belgian midfielder went from being a flop to being the engine behind Man City's success, click this video and we'll tell you the whole story. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, give it a like and hit the subscribe button.